Dave Campbell's Texas Football unveils its Week 12 statewide Texas high school football rankings on Monday at TexasFootball.com. The rankings are compiled by the Dave Campbell's Texas Football staff. DCTF has published the state's most respected Texas high school football rankings for decades and is the official rankings provider of the Associated Press since 2019. Complete rankings can be found at TexasFootball.com/rankings. One thing to note, this will be the final rankings for Class 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A. Okay, 6A and 5A will continue, so will the private school rankings. But for now, this is the final week of rankings for 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A. So we will continue to update our rankings. We'll do 6A and 5A each week here on TexasFootball.com, plus the private school ranks. But for 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A, we're done. We do to the end of regular season, and then that is church. So there you go. Let's start with Class 6A, where we've got some movement. Let's talk about the number 7 team in the state, the Katy Tompkins Falcons, who take down Katy. They vault all the way up from number 14 to number 7 in the new rankings. Katy tumbles from number 3 to number 10. Cedar Hill, with their win over DeSoto, is up 2 spots to number 8, while DeSoto plunges from number 6 to number 12 with their loss. New to the rankings at number 24, the 6-0 Killeen Shoemaker Gray Wolves, 42-30 winners over Bryan on Friday night. They are they're into the rankings at number 24. To 5A we go. 5A Division 1. Almost entirely chalk. Highland Park's win over Longview. They don't really have anywhere to go. They stay the same at number 2, but Longview drops 1 spot thanks to their close loss to number 8. Lubbock Coronado, with their big win, leapfrogs them to number 7. Elsewhere, everything else relatively chalk. Top 5 remain the same. Denton Ryan, Highland Park, Lancaster, Cedar Park, and Richmond Foster. To 5A Division 2 we go, where again almost entirely chalk. The only change here is that Texas High's 28-0 win over Marshall is good enough to leapfrog them over Mansfield Timberview, who was idle this week. A lot of idle teams, by the way. Aledo, Frisco, Timberview, Wichita Falls, Rider, and Lubbock Cooper did not play. Everything else is the same, top 5 unchanged. Ennis, Aledo, Fort Bend, Marshall, Huntsville, and Frisco. To 4A we go, where these are the final regular season rankings for Dave Campbell's Texas Football. In 4A Division 1, a little bit of change. Port Lavaca Calhoun's loss to Corpus Christi. Cal Allen drops them from number 3 to number 8. Into their stead is the team that beat them. Corpus Christi Cal Allen, the number 3 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Melissa up a spot to number 5. El Campo up to number 4. El Campo up a spot to number 5. Midlothian Heritage, despite being idle, teams lost around them, so they were able to vault up a couple of spots. They finished the year at number 6. Waco La Vega up 2 spots to number 7 with their win over Brownwood. Dumas up a spot to number 9. And new to the rankings in the final rankings, the Lindale Eagles, the district champs. They beat Kilgore 47-40 to earn the number 10 spot in the rankings. To 4A Division 2 we go, where we also had some changes. The big win was Gilmer's 31-28 win over Pleasant Grove. That vaults them up to number 3, where they basically switched spots with Pleasant Grove. Jasper remains the same at number 4. Everything else exactly the same. Number 1, Carthage. Number 2, Western Stark. And at the bottom, number 7, Caddo Mills. Number 6, Salado. Number 7, Caddo Mills. Number 8, Graham. Number 9, Sealy. And number 10, Glen Rose. To 3A we go. 3A Division 1. The final regular season rankings for 3A Division 1 is chalk. Nothing changes. Everyone's a winner or idle. Brock, Grandview, Shallowater, Malakoff, Pottsboro, your final top 5 in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. To 3A Division 2 we go, where a little bit of chalk, almost entirely chalk, although 3A Division 2 did get a little bit of a makeover as we have a new team cracking the rankings. We are talking about Ballinger. At number 10, they finished the year 9-1 with a 42-0 win over Sonora. That is good enough to crack the top 10. Childress drops out of the rankings, so Holiday and Dangerfield each move up a spot, but the top 5 unchanged. Canadian, Gunner, Poth, East Bernard, and Spearman. To 2A we go. The final 2A Division 1 rankings are mostly the same, although we did lose a team. Who did we lose in 2A Division 1? Trying to think off the top of my head, and I can't. Shiner, Refugio, Post, Timpson, and Lindsay are your final top 5. Cisco is up 2 spots with their big win over San Saba. That's who we lost, San Saba. Their big win over them. Crawford ends up losing a game via forfeit to Valley Mills, but they stay the same at number 7. Normandy at number 8. They're up a spot. Panhandle at number 9. They're up a spot. And new to the rankings, the top 10 Hearn Eagles. They beat Moody to finish off the regular season unbeaten. They are the number 10 in the final 2A Division 2 rankings. 2A Division 1, rather. The 2A Division 2, where a little bit of movement, a little bit of shakeup. Wellington's win over Wheeler keeps them at number 3, but drops Wheeler from number 5 down to number 8. The beneficiaries there are Albany, McCamey, and Christoval, who are up to 5, 6, and 7, respectively. Vega is still the same at number 10. Your top 3 unchanged. Mart, Hamlin, and Wellington, with Windthorst at number 4. Into the 6-man ranks. 1A Division 1, courtesy of our friend Granger Huntress at sixmanfootball.com. Not a ton of changes in the final 1A Division 1 rankings. Westbrook stays the same at number 3, but May leapfrogs Rankin for the number 4 spot. They switch spots. Everything else is unchanged. Sterling City and Borden County and Westbrook start the year, or finish the year 1, 2, 3 in 1A Division 1. Finally, 1A Division 2, where we did have some movement. Jayton's big win over Motley County vaults them from number 5 to number 2. Motley County down a spot to number 3. Groom down a spot to number 4, despite their win over Wildorado, basically making room for Jayton. Everything else largely unchanged. The number 1 team in 1A Division 2 heading into the playoffs, the Balmaray Bears. And into the private school ranks, a lot in the 11-man ranks. The top 4 teams were all idle. Parish Episcopal, Nolan, Cedar Hill, Trinity Christian, Cedar Hill, and San Antonio Cornerstone. Dallas Christian did score 56-16 win over Frisco Legacy Christian. That keeps them at number 5. And the 6-man ranks, a couple of everyone's a winner. No changes here. Austin Veritas, Fredericksburg Heritage, New Braunfels Christian, Bastrop Tribe Consolidated, who was idle, and Dallas Lake Hill rounds out the top 5. You can find the complete Texas high school football rankings, including the final rankings for 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A at texasfootball.com/rankings. A reminder, 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A, done. That's the last rankings of the year. Starting next week, we will continue to update the 6A and 5A rankings, plus the private school rankings. So keep it right here.